Hey, before we start with the main video, I would like to thank you the following companies for their support. They support me through the YouTube membership program that I created for companies who care about software testing and are active in supporting the testing community. Thank you once again. If you want to learn more about the supporters, check the video description down below to find the links to their products. If you miss your logo on this page, follow the QR code or send me an email. Happy testing, and now back to the main video. Hi, welcome back to my channel. Happy that you're here today, and there is another community question coming up today. Eric was again so brave to send me a community question, or his question, that I'm happy to answer. So let's take a look first on Eric's question.
Hi, Daniel. My name is Eric Jacobson. I'm a quality engineering manager for a global e-commerce site, and I've got a question for you. What's a good way to prevent development team product changes from breaking other development team Selenium checks? Let me give you some context. So in my organization, there are 10 development teams all working on a monolith e-commerce site. Each team has a couple hundred Selenium checks. They also have unit tests and some API tests, but they have a couple hundred Selenium checks. The full Selenium regression check suite takes 4 hours to run. It runs twice a day in an integrated environment. But a common problem is when Team A makes a product change, it sometimes will break the Selenium tests owned by Team B. And they don't find out till after that full 4-hour regression check run. We tried an earlier approach of having the Selenium checks maintained by a shared services team, but that was even worse. We do like having the 10 development teams own their own automated checks for their own domains. And let me repeat my question one more time. So what is a good way to prevent development team product changes from breaking other development team Selenium checks? Thanks.
So, what do you think? It's quite a tough one, right? I mean, I bet you all have been in this situation in case you're working with multiple teams on the same product and on the same test scripts that you've implemented, being it Selenium, Playwright, Cypress, or any other technology they're using in your company. I bet you have seen this similar situation, and I was in there at in similar stages as well before, working in different teams, being it mobile or web applications. And to be honest, there is no silver bullet to actually handle that situation. And I made up my mind basically to answer Eric's question. And I compiled a few things that Eric, you can do and try it with your team, with your company, but also you out there, you can also try it yourself in case you have a similar problem, so that team A is changing product and is checking is adapting their own tests, their own Selenium checks, sorry for that. And while at the same time they are failing or breaking other one's tests. So here are my notes basically that I took in order to prepare for the answer for the question. So first thing that you can do, Eric, or anyone who's facing similar problems, is basically to segment your checks. So what I mean with segments is to segment them into smaller test suites for a specific product feature, specific product journey that you would like to check and to verify with those tests. So in case you have let's say a checkout process. I mean, you mentioned already an e-commerce platform, so I bet you also have a checkout system, so that all your checks that are testing or verifying the checkout process are in one segment. So, and then in case a team is changing something in that area that is somehow connected with checkout process, they have to run, or they can execute basically the subset of the regression test suite, or all the tests that you just mentioned before, the hundreds of tests in the smaller parts. So let's say you have 200, 300 Selenium checks, and only a subsegment of checks, let's say 20, are focusing on the checkout. They can only run the 20 checkout tests and see if everything works or not. So you can narrow down basically the the execution time. At the same time, you can also prioritize the checks for the product features, for the importance, for the business, in case you cannot really say, okay, these are tests for a specific section of the product. Prioritizing based on the business value and also the risks for the for your product and for your company. So this might be one thing, to put them into smaller pieces, to execute them when something has changed in a specific section of your application. So that's one. The other thing that you can do basically is do something like a test dependency mapping. And what I mean with that is you map out which Selenium tests are dependent on which component. So this is also something that you can do. So in that case, if team A modifies component maybe, or that team B relies on, they have to notify the team A that, hey, we changed something in your component and this might have an effect on the Selenium checks. And in best case, team A, who changed the component of team B, is also checking the Selenium checks if they are still running, if something is broken or something like that. And a good way to do that basically is to create a mind map of your product. Create a product mind map, add all the functionality, the features that you have in your e-commerce platform, Eric, and then map basically your Selenium checks to each and every section of the application. Make it transparent to all the development teams and tell them like, hey, look, if you change something, let's say in the checkout component, those checks are similar to that. So it's similar to my first answer, basically, to segment things and to narrow them down in smaller chunks. But in case you cannot segment them down into smaller test scripts or whatever you would like to call them, test suites, maybe the dependency mapping might be a topic for you to cover on or to check on. A third thing that you can do is basically you can do like shared test suites or resources. I mean, if you all work on the same code base on the product side for the e-commerce shop and at the same time you have hundreds of checks, maybe you should have like also shared components. So bring all Selenium checks together in one repository. Maybe you can use common IDs, identifiers, to identify the objects on the screen, for example. Or you can try to reuse parts of scripts in other scripts to have, I mean, then you have some dependencies for sure as well if you change something here and there, but if you have shared components, this might trigger something, and also especially changing the mindset of people that they're not alone in your company, basically working alone on the product, but also that teams start to think about other team members as well alone. So let's say, okay, I changed something here, let me double check if there's something that concerns somebody else, right? So that's something that you can do. Another thing that I can only recommend you do is maybe then a cross-team code review. So in case you have a code review process in place and you do your code reviews only internally in your team, and you know that you touched somebody else's component or you might impact somebody else's tests or code, why not invite other people in your company or like in other teams to do the code review together? Right? I've worked in one company where we've done that, especially where we're like also a distributed team, and the developer who changed a code piece in somebody else's components or like in an area that could impact somebody else's component or code, they needed to invite at least one developer from that team to do the code review for them. And then, of course, you can narrow down things and you might find your potential things that might break the tests. You can set up alerting mechanism. I mean, this sounds also obvious, right? So alerting sets up some automated alerts that send information to your communication tools that you have in your company. So in case some shared functionality has been modified or like a pull request has been opened up, send a notification to the team like, hey, somebody opened a pull request that is affecting your code base. Let's check it together, do cross-team code review, or let's run the test in smaller pieces to see what's going to happen. Yeah. One really obvious one, I mean, I bet you have tried it already, is to parallelize your test execution. I mean, you mentioned that you have 4 hours of regression testing running. Maybe you can spread it to a couple of browser instances, like on cloud providers, for example. Run, let's say, 20% of your checks on browser A and so forth and so forth. And execute them on multiple machines so that you get faster feedback. So then maybe you have, let's say, 4 hours of checks running on one browser, for example. I don't know if you run it on multiple browsers or not. And this might squeeze down the execution time and to find your potential breaking changes faster. Yeah. And maybe you have also tried it out as well, and this is also something that you could definitely try out, is make use of AI. If you are allowed to use your AI, any co-pilot system that is available in the market and you're allowed to use it in your company, use it. And then to talk to the co-pilot, say, hey, look, I changed something here. Is there any code piece in my repository that might be affected when I do the changes here? This could also be a really helpful thing for you to get faster insights into your code base in potential changes that might break the checks of somebody else's team. Yeah. So these were like, I think seven things that you could try out in order to actually reduce the risks of having broken tests from somebody else's team. I mean, you could also do a retrospective together, right? So point number 8, talk to people, involve them, make it transparent what happened, and analyze why something was broken due to the change that the team has done, to get like the right mindset of the people, to have like a shared and common mindset and responsibility for the code base. So in case you're working on somebody else's code component and so forth, do the checks, talk to them, involve them in the code reviews or any format that you have, for example. Yeah. So I really hope that answers your question, Eric, and thanks again for sending. I think it was your 3rd question already. So if you are watching right now somewhere out there, not Eric, but somebody else's in the community, be like Eric. Send me your personal questions that you have, your challenges, your struggle, things that I should talk about, things that I could answer. Maybe I can share some light, share my opinion on things. I'd really love to get your questions as well. Send me a comment down below if you would like to send me a question as well, a video question. And if you're not brave enough in sending me your face, your voice, and have it included in one of my videos, send me a message. You will find everything on my social media, how to get in contact with me, and I can put your question as a quote inside the video and I cannot talk about it. So let me know down in the comments below how you would answer the question of Eric's problem. And that's it for today. As always, thanks for coming by. Like it, share it, and subscribe it to support me and to grow my channel even further. Thanks for coming by today, and see you next time.